Oompa loompa doopity doo. Boy, do I have a story for you. Unless you're over the age of 60, it's likely you have fond childhood memories of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Whether it's the original Roald Dahl book with a sequel that includes a nightmare realm called Minus Land that you exist in before your birth, or the Gene Wilder classic which has a tunnel that's somehow more terrifying than Minus Land, or the Johnny Depp remake with Saruman the Pearly Whites, or the very new Wonka origin movie in which the House of Wonka is moved to the planet of Arrakis to get magical chocolate from the sandworms. Yes, we all have very fond memories of poor little Charlie Bucket and his golden ticket, Willy Wonka and his zany inventions, and Grandpa Joe. The most successful benefit scammer in British history, but in each adaptation, however, our friendly chocolatier can't help but be tainted with a touch of eldritch horror. With a story that is actually very, very messed up if you read the cliff notes without the charming aesthetic. But what if you were to strip that aesthetic away and laid bare the machinations of a cocoa-addled mind? What horrors would reveal themselves? How dark could it get? And how much would it cost? As it turns out, £35. Let's talk about how a man tried to make some quick cash by haphazardly throwing together one of the worst children's events in history, which resulted in a small army of parents wanting to kill him. So come with me, and you'll be in a world of letdowns and frustration. The Glasgow Willy Wonka experience. Please leave a like and a comment on this video because it really helps me in the algorithm. As you all know, I am very, very fond of the odd spell of fishing. I like to subject myself and whoever I'm courting out to a nice day sitting by the water whilst absolutely nothing happens. However, the thing is that I don't want merely nothing to happen. The issue is I am too weak to handle the heavy rod, and I frankly suck at catching the slimy sods. Good thing I can still get the thrill of success with today's sponsor, Fishing Clash. Fishing Clash is the gold standard in fishing games, taking the needs and tedium of the cast and refines it into an exhilarating and addictive blitz. No longer will you have to sit and wait whilst that one little fish teases and feints your hook for hours on end. As with Fishing Clash, I can cast my rod anywhere from the comfort of my bed, from the Baltic to the bayou and anywhere in between. And brother, it ain't just about the scenery. As with Fishing Clash, you've got a wide range, nay, a smorgasbord of scaly scoundrels to scour several shores for. I've yet to catch a fish finger, but I'm going to keep up the grind until I do. Now, don't go and think that Fishing Clash is a simple point-and-catch baby game. No siree, as Fishing Clash actually has depth, requiring the strategic deployment of lures, power-up lines, and equipment upgrades to finally defeat the fish in tug of war. It even has an engaging and playfully competitive PvP mode, which means I can totally show off and flex how I caught what might be a barracuda after crumping my adversaries. Epic. So, if you want to be the best like I never was with 50 million other players and get some free bonuses which are worth $20 along with a unique avatar, then you need to only scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description box down below to download Fishing Clash. Then all you've got to do is navigate the menu, enter the gift code CountDankulaTV, and you will be loaded up with the goodies. Post below in the comments what cool critters you caught. So thank you Fishing Clash for making me finally able to catch fish. My mum says she's very proud of me and my dad acknowledged my existence by giving me a vitamin gummy. Now, back to the video. Cast your mind back to the heady days of February 2024. Kate Middleton is missing, Dune 2 is about to come out in the cinema and show the world just how evil bald people are, and you're looking for something fun to do with your children at the weekend. Perhaps the event for you is one organised by Billy Cool and his company, House of Illuminati Limited. They're just behind everything bad that happens to children, aren't they? But anyway, according to his LinkedIn, sorry, I've got alopecia, Billy was a man with a wealth of experience in crafting marketing campaigns and events. Which is technically true. He gained such experience at a Santa's grotto that he held in 2021, which was mysteriously suddenly shut down after toys and gifts had already been donated. And Billy just kept all the fucking toys. I'm starting to think that Billy Cool sorry, there's the alopecia again. See if this is what it's like having hair. I don't want it. But anyway, I am starting to think that Billy might be a thieving, conning little bastard. But that was during COVID. You know, that's not normal. And Billy is our guy. And Billy has a plan. Between the grotto and our topic of the day, Billy was a bit of an author. And he was a hell of a writer, managing to write 7 whole books in the space of just a year. Even Stephen King, at the height of his $6,000 a day cocaine addiction, wasn't even writing that much. Billy must be some kind of hyper genius. How the hell did he manage to write 7 whole books in the space of just a year? AI. The books were completely AI generated. They are all completely unreadable gibberish, and I love them all very, very much. 3 of them have the word shadow in the title. They use the same characters, have the same chapter names, and 2 of them have a main character called Sarah. Even though the books are not sequels or linked to each other in any way. They're totally separate and standalone books. This means that Billy was so lazy that not only did he use AI to write these books entirely, he also used the exact same prompt to generate all of the books. The motherfucker was so lazy that he didn't even change the fucking prompt. He just kept hitting enter and then publishing the results as a full book, without even at least proofreading them first. Saul McGoodman then moved on to his next scheme. House of Illuminati began advertising something called Willy's Chocolate Experience. An event that was meant to simulate, though remain legally distinct from, a tour through Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I get that the name change was to avoid copyright infringement, but Willy's Chocolate Experience sounds like a euphemism for the prison showers. Or a visit to London. Also, Willy Wonka's OSHA violation-riddled midget sweatshop slave camp would be the very last place that I would take a child. But Billy, like Icarus with chocolate wings, forged on ahead. Now, you can't spell advertising without an A and an I in there somewhere. So Billy worked day and night, or for maybe 5 minutes, as you'll soon see, typing prompts into some AI image generator to create some fucking absolutely sensational artwork to promote his event. Hayao Miyazaki wept, for he knew that no matter how good Studio Ghibli food looked, it couldn't approach the majesty of algorithmic candy cane mountains and procedurally generated chocolate rivers. I mean, look at this. That's Gene Wilder. In the flesh. They fucking brought him back just to advertise this event. And look at the promises in this poster. You're telling me that for just 35 of my hard-earned pounds, I can enjoy Carchi Tons, Exacerbate lollipops, and enter a paradise of sweet teats. Don't even get me started on how enshrining the entertainment is going to be. The event was slated to take place from the 24th to the 25th of February at the Box Hub Warehouse in Glasgow. Now, this wasn't just a local affair. One family actually drove 2 hours from Dundee to attend this event. Now, I know if you're American that's not very far, but in Scotland, that is considered a Frodo and Sam level expedition. So, the big day arrives and the children are kicking the back of your seat for the whole 2 hours of driving. But you're from Dundee. So you imagine that wherever you're going just has to be better than fucking Dundee. And in most scenarios, you would be correct. Your average Dundonian would visit a Holocaust museum because it has a comparatively fun vibe. However, you are instead greeted by this. This is what I imagined the end of civilization would look like. Seeing these images made me feel the same way that I felt when I got to the ending of Dark Souls 3. When every universal horror is coalescing into an incomprehensible singularity, where every single person and entity in the world is just mentally checked out and accepted their fate because they know that no matter what they or the Ashen One does, the first flame is going to fade and everything, including them, will return to nothingness. There are thousands of years of civilizations, kings and queens, mighty empires, warriors, legends, love stories, historical sagas. Their entire history will vanish like it never even happened in the first place. And the last thing that you hear as the darkness descends is some council scheme Oompa Loompa asking you, "Ashen One, doth thou want some Tesco value lemonade?" Now, the pictures of the event are well beyond viral. The bridge over the printed paper chocolate river, the photo op that looks like a PVC background that your mum would hang on the wall for a child's birthday party, the massive area of tables and chairs despite the food being served at the Willy Wonka chocolate event consisting of literally half a cup of Tesco value lemonade and a single jelly bean. You heard me right, a single jelly bean. Not a packet of jelly beans, a single fucking jelly bean. 35 quid. The actual event was a tour through Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, with poor struggling actors playing the parts of Wonkadoodles, which were Oompa Loompas but with a name change to avoid lawsuits, Willy McDuff, who was Willy Wonka but with a name change to again avoid lawsuits, and an evil chocolatier known as the Unknown.
What is that? It's the Unknown!
Now, I'm sure you have several questions, like, what the fuck is the Unknown? How do you know they're called Wonkadoodles? How can a chocolatier be evil? Well, in terms of that last question, you clearly haven't looked into Nestle an awful lot, but for the other questions, it is because we have exclusive backstage behind-the-scenes access to the grand vision for this event. I am an omnipotent god of budget chocolate factory tours, for I know all. And the fate of the Unknown is not unknown. Because you see, the script for this event leaked. And of course, it was fucking AI generated. The script is honestly a thing of beauty. An AI generated mess, not limited by the scope of budget, physics, live production hurdles, or audience free will. Now, I'm not going to read to you the entire script, but I will highlight a few points about it that I find particularly fucking absurd. So, the first thing that I just have to point out is the fact that this may be the first show in history where you, as an audience member, better know your lines before you get there, because you have specific stage directions. Now, I don't mean that there's a plant in the audience to set up jokes or bits that say pause for laughter. I mean that there were specific things that the audience was scripted to do. Such as when Willy McDuff asked the audience, who has brought their sense of wonder today? And the script calls for the audience to raise their hands. But some do it enthusiastically, and others do it timidly. How does the script know how the audience is going to react to that? Who fucking knows? But you better know what camp you're in. If little Billy is in the enthusiastic group but raises his hand timidly, or God forbid doesn't raise his hand at all because he's 3 years old and in a strange environment, I'm going to put him in the Augustus Gloop murder chute. The script also predicts the future, as the audience are at one point, quote, visibly amused. Some are leaning in, fully engaged in McDuff's charismatic presence. To be fair, look at Willy. That is a fountain of charisma and charm. Remember, and be engaged in his charismatic presence, little Billy, or I'll be forced to take away your one singular jelly bean and give it to your sister. Because she knows how to hit her fucking mark. You'll never be as good as her, Billy. And not just the reactions were scripted. Entire lines were written for the audience to say. If an audience member ate the soup-flavoured jelly bean, which this production absolutely definitely had, and didn't say verbatim, it's like dinner and a dessert. Astonishing. Then the entire thing just falls apart. Look, if the audience isn't literally psychic, that's not my fault. Fucking skill issue. The AI that wrote the script also seems to think that this is either a Disney-level production or a movie that has post-production graphic effects. Because at one point, Willy was supposed to catch a bubble with perfect timing, then let it go so it pops in his hand, and it would create a twinkling light that would float up into the rafters. I have no fucking idea how that was supposed to be achieved other than training fireflies or having a tiny Roman candle hidden up your sleeve. But I can just imagine the performers reading this and then panicking, thinking to themselves, how the fuck are we supposed to do that? Page 3, perform literal fucking magic. Also, while studying for this script, I think I may have solved the age-old question of...
What is that?
Because you see, the term artificial intelligence is a misnomer. Because it's actually really fucking stupid. And sometimes it will interpret words, even words that it generated, in a very strange way. Now, I don't know what the exact prompt was that led to this script, there's my alopecia again, being sharted out, but because of some of the lines said by Willy, I do have reason to believe that at some point in the prompt, Billy makes some reference to journeying into the unknown. This is because, in the script, the characters talk about going through the unknown quite a few times before the scene where the unknown appears. The AI must have gotten confused with the unknown being merely a concept and instead considered it an actual physical thing, and so it had to personify it as an evil chocolatier, wearing the finest silver mask that Temu can recommend. I bet you're wondering what the original plot of the Willy Wonka chocolate experience was supposed to be. And if you weren't wondering that, then your childlike imagination is dead, your pineal gland is calcified, and your sense of whimsy has been ground to microplastics. But for those of you actual humans who were wondering, it starts as a fairly standard tour through wacky set pieces until the Twilight Tunnel, which is where Willie McDuff encounters the unknown. Apparently, the unknown covets a special piece of candy crafted in the ancient sugar forges of Willy's wondrous workshop. One gobstopper to rule them all. You see, the unknown was actually a minor Maya in service to Melkor, but after the War of Wrath and Melkor's expulsion to the Void, where he But for real, the unknown is after an item known as the anti-graffiti gobstopper, which is a gobstopper that somehow helps mothers clean up after their children. The unknown shows up, freezes time, and then twirls its mustache about how it's going to use the gobstopper to turn our worlds into chaos. Subtly implying that there is an either interplanetary or transdimensional network of chocolate factories, or maybe the unknown is just literally Slanesh and wants us to eat lots and lots of candy so that we surrender to gluttony and can be corrupted. And you will be absolutely delighted to know that in the end, Willie McDuff does in fact prevail over this conniving candy con man, in a scene where the unknown attempts to take the anti-graffiti gobstopper from Willie, and Willie activates his inner Kevin McAllister and activates a series of traps that the Wonka Tour definitely had the budget for, including fucking holograms. Until finally the unknown is defeated by being sucked up into a giant robot vacuum cleaner. Absolute cinema. That's how Paul Atreides versus Phaedrotha should have ended. Now, obviously, the entire script was absolute fucking garbage nonsense, and the actors abandoned the script pretty quickly and just started improvising the entire thing. And honestly, all credit needs to be given to these actors because it seems like they were in the exact same boat as the guests who were attending the Wonka experience, and they were completely blindsided by how shit it was. And none of the people who actually attended the event seemed to have anything bad to say about the actors. Especially this poor girl who got immortalised forever as the meth head Oompa Loompa. Guests were actually saying that she was bending over backwards to make sure that the children still had the best time possible despite the extremely shitty circumstances that she was working in. And the guests all sympathised with her and praised her for doing her best. Big Billy Cool, however, well, that was a different story.
We guarantee a full refund starting from Monday.
No,
okay, if you don't receive the refund...
I'm going to call the police.
If you don't receive the refund...
Because you are now into liquidation, you are no longer a company?
No,
Is that why you don't have pictures up of your stuff?
No.
It's actual photo stuff you've got up, so
we use artificial intelligence to generate...
So you're a fake?
No, absolutely.
You're a fake, that's why you don't advertise exactly what the thing is about.
Thank you so much.
No, come back.
Thank you.
Hey,
No, nothing.
So again, for the purposes of clarity, the
But he's for the company.
He's the company, that woman.
refunds. Thank you for
Right,
your
we need
time.
this right.
Thank you for your time. Do you think you're going to get rid of us? If you looked at the queue along here with people, parents and their
I'm
children.
very, very
Well, we need
sorry.
it right.
No, you're not fucking sorry.
Writing.
You're pal.
Oi.
You're lucky everyone's got
Back.
their cameras out because that's fucking rigged all your book.
Come back.
As you just saw, the parents who attended this event were absolutely fucking furious that they paid £35 for this steaming pile of AI-generated dog shite that literally made their children cry. And so many of these videos and pictures instantly went viral, to the point that it was global news. Also, none of the actors were actually paid for any of the work that they did at the event. Billy basically blocked all of their numbers, fucked off with the money, and vanished. But the actors all went on to have very different post-Wonka experiences. Kirsty Patterson, the Oompa Loompa that you all remember, took the idea and ran with it, starting an Instagram on @ScottishOompaLoompa, a Twitter account @YesIt'sMe2024, and doing the whole interview circuit. Felicia, the 16-year-old who was hired to play the unknown, got a chance to train with the team down at London Dungeon and had a few guest gigs there. And Paul Connell, one of the actors playing Willy, did a Reddit AMA. I probably shouldn't have ended with that one. But what about Big Bad Billy Cool? Well, he said that his life was ruined by the experience, and he got a lot of online messages. He said, and I quote, "I was getting hundreds and hundreds calling me the most awful names, saying I'm a villain, I'm a horrific dad, I'm better off dead, I should kill myself. I was devastated and I was sick to the pit of my tummy. I had a whole host of emotions." Now that actually does make me feel kind of bad. It would be really, really horrible getting a bunch of messages that made you feel uncomfortable. Anyway, in November of last year, Billy was convicted of sexual harassment because he kept sexting someone from a fake account after she very, very many times told him to stop. He was saying things like, "sugar lips," "my wee charm," "sexy," and last but not least, "I am the wolf and you are my prey. I will get you." After the woman again told Billy to stop, he replied with even more messages and also pictures of his Willy Wonka. After which he was arrested, given a year of probation, 120 hours of community service, and he was also put on the sex offenders register. All those people thinking that the chocolate factory stunt was a little bit sinister might have been onto something. Now, why did I wait so long to cover this story when it was global news from my own country and the event itself happened literally just down the road from where I'm sitting right now? It's because when I make a video like this, I like to wait a while for all the dust to settle and all the facts to come in. As for why it took over a year, it's because I was so certain that there was going to be an arrest or civil lawsuits against Billy, the big bad wolf. But sadly, none came. But the happy ending that we all got here is that the guy who made an event that scammed and traumatized kids is now on a register where he isn't allowed near kids. So that's a win for everyone. So where does that leave us? Well, I don't know if Willy's chocolate experience enters the hallowed halls of events such as Fire Festival, Rainforest, or DashCon. Because at the end of the day, in the grand scale of events, this one was pretty low cost and low commitment in comparison. Sure, it ruined a nice day out for a lot of families and probably traumatised some children, but at least no one was in a piss-soaked ball pit eating FEMA rice. It was just a disappointment. Like when you expect a video to have a proper ending.
Your bitch sucks on my Willy Wonka like it's an everlasting gobstopper. I gave that bitch some sugar. She took a face full of frosting. We smoke in Augustus Gloop. Hotbox in the glass elevator with that shit that takes us to minus land. They found me in the jungle. I'm feral. We smoking that shit that put Grandpa Joe back in bed. Popping so many zins down the chocolate river, I be in permanent Wonka vision. My bitch thicker than Violet Beauregard. Ass so fat, the bitch tastes like blueberry pie. We smoking Veruca bath salts. We be pushing so many Wonka bars, the Federal Reserve got free golden tickets. I bust a nut and still put her in the garbage chute. Mixing that syrup with Sprite, calling it fizzy lifting drink. You don't get it, chit. I just need the Wonka weed. Ah, the tunnel! Don't put me in the tunnel! I showed her my Willy. Never seen her get wilder. Bitch called me short, so I broke her knees with a stick of rock candy. I'll fucking kill you. Don't touch my cocoa slime. You find out why I got the gloves on. Smoking that shit that put Mike in the TV. Fuck fair trade, I'm taking all of it. We rolling cotton candy kush using golden tickets. Bitch, I ate the goose. When Charlie was passed out, me and Joe double teamed his grandma while the others watched. Got on top of that bitch and spun like a helicopter rotor. 4 bitches in the bed is a standard night for me. Charlie ain't special. Nestle, why don't you Nestle these nuts in your mouth, slime? Blew out the op's whole personality, then did a jigging song about what happens when you put up on gang. I tanned the cup in a half. I ate the cocoa beans whole. I'm getting African mothers relying on formula. My product too pure. Oompa loompa doop-ti-doo. Take away the chocolate and I'll fucking kill you. I'm hot as shit. The Nesquik bunny's dick big as hell. I seen it. She's sucking so hard I thought she got the Nesquik straw. We smoking Mars bars. We smoking Milky Ways. We smoking straight plutonium for a healthy orange glow. Hook the African bitches on formula. Their milk is mine. Been cranking the doohickey so hard, bitch be hornswoggled. Peter Dinklage criticized our hiring practices. You wouldn't last 2 seconds in Oompa Loompa Land. We operate under the radar, under the sidelines. You wouldn't get it, Ned. Loompa Land got the high-strength cocoa booger beans. Got me tasting the whole meal. Judge gave Amber the factory. Never packed more fudge in my life. Shit. Global warming got Willy Wonka looking at train technology. Ran so many trains on shit, got Willy Wonka contemplating rail. Candy too strange, got me licking everything. The doorknob is black licorice. Putting zins in the chocolate mix, call it popping candy. I parted the chocolate river. I saw the end of the gobstopper. I've just got so much yummy. Shit. The golden ticket don't come with no discount. I want my fucking money. I got hundreds and thousands, Ned. You're counting penny chews. Been tipping shit with chocolate coins. He forgot I'm different. Cum pattern on your bitch's face so unique. Had to call up Cadbury's to announce a new marvelous creation. Eating popping candy when I go to sleep because I find the sound of gunfire comforting. Gave a bitch the hookah before the doopity-doo. I called that the Turkish delight. Took a bite of Hershey's and threw up both my fucking lungs. Turn me into a chocolate fountain. Pull up on my factory and I'll choke you out in my white gloves, Hershey. They forgot Willy Wonka is him. We moving products out of factories while you're stuck on the street corner. Get in your lane or get a song, Ned. I choked the bitch out with the strawberry laces. Twisting and licking a biracial bitch, calling her an Oreo. I break the Kit Kat laterally. Don't fuck with me. Yo bitch eats Kit Kats the wide way. Pull up on my crew, you'll get licked out with the left Twix, right Twix. Lick that bitch out like a cream egg. Your bitch sucks on me like she's trying to figure out how many licks it takes to get to the center. And she calls me up at 2 a.m. to demand a recount. Bitch, I am known. Product so gritty got me baring my fangs. I'm vicious. Didn't jack off for a whole month and drank no water. So when I finally bust, it was that Krispy Kreme. Can't even eat chocolate because I don't want to poison that dog in me. Bitch, know I double tap when I hit it. Got me dunking. I need my cocoa slime. I got my cravings. I know Count Chocula. I know the Cookie Crisp Wizard. I know Boo Berry. Pulling up my cereal gang will make you snap, crackle, and pop, bitch. I get my Lucky Charms from Sephora. Ah, me Lucky Charm. Came on the bitch till she looked like a marshmallow and asked for s'more. Went 2 more rounds cause it stayed puffed. Green hair jit, orange skin jit, 4'11 jit. They thought I was a California art hoe. We chewing the dip like it's Hubba Bubba. Gave that bitch a cream pie, then sued her for stealing trade secrets. Told the bitch I had magnums in my bedside drawer. Got home and they'd melted. Try to take my candy and the only candy you'll end up with is a cane and a striper. Homie got on my shoulders in a trench coat. I will see Jaws. They say sugar's as addictive as crack. I went back in time and switched the barrels. Just found out cocoa grows on trees. I fucking hate vegetables. This ain't sugar, it's stevia. Ah!
It's Count Dankula on YouTube. Everybody just subscribe.